Hello and welcome to another edition of Real Possibilities. I am so excited. I need this show probably more than anyone who's viewing the show needs this show. We're going to be talking about artificial intelligence, and we're going to talk about it in layperson's terms, not in terms of the higher level, but just everyday use of AI. What it means for the future workforce, what it means for you, how it can improve your life, how it can improve the way that we work, and to do that, we have someone who is we're kind of cloning her as the nation's expert in terms of I know it's a heavy title, but she has been the editor's pick for one of the best speakers by the meeting and conventions folks. She's an author. She has a national speaker, been all over the country speaking, considered one of the best speakers in the country. She is a self-proclaimed nerd. Now, that used to be a term that we shied away from when we were young, but it's cool to be a nerd in these days and times. And she is I think the most recent book is Nerd No Dirt Know How, Beth. Is that correct? Her name is Beth Z, and she's used the word Z because no one could pronounce her last name, including me. So, so Beth, thank you for being a part of Real Possibilities and for all that you are doing to make certain that people aren't afraid of artificial intelligence. They understand that it is here to help and to assist if it's used correctly. Thanks for being here.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm so excited to answer questions that they may have and give some new ideas and get people started on the right path.
So tell us, let's before we get started, we've got to establish you as the expert that you are, the self-proclaimed nerd that you are. Tell us how you got started in this and why the Z, what the Z stands for, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, do y'all remember back in middle school, the person who kind of sat alone in the corner and ate her lunch by herself and then finally just stopped coming to the cafeteria because she went to go grade papers for her teachers? That was me. So the nerd started early. I was always the one who would rather play with a computer on a Friday. Well, that was because I wasn't dating, but I stayed home, played with computers, loved them. I can't code for the life of me. I can't put a computer together, but I can tell you all kinds of technology tools that'll make your life easier. And I've done all kinds of things. I have a master's degree in journalism. I was in Peace Corps. I ran a bed and breakfast. But as soon as I found out that people will listen to me speak about something that I love the most in the world, boom, there was my career. And I became your nerdy best friend.
Thank you so much for that. That's an interesting background. We always try to pigeonhole people into one track, one career track, but when you follow your passion, when you find your purpose, then that's where the excitement really begins. And sounds like you've done that. And so we're just thrilled to have you with us. Talk about let's get a common definition of artificial intelligence, AI. What does that really mean?
Boy, that is a huge question, and it doesn't really mean much right now.
Mhm.
Artificial intelligence has been around for a long time in the technology area, in the computing area. And don't quote me on this, but I think in the 1950s, people started talking about artificial intelligence, and it's meant a lot of different things. And nowadays, we're like, poof, AI, poof, AI. We're calling everything AI. But the kind of AI that has made the huge headlines lately in the past 3 years is called generative AI, generative artificial intelligence, and it's the one of the terms is GPT. And people are
Mhm.
like, "What does GPT stand for?" And I'm like, "Does it really matter? We never figured out what VHS stands for." So we lived our lives without worrying about that. But this type of AI buzzword is all around generative AI at this moment.
And it's actually it's got a bad rep sometimes in terms of the amount of water, air, energy, that's going to be used from data systems. But that's someone else's issue. In terms of just the technology and how we use it day to day, it can really improve our lives. And I want to talk about the Z for a moment. Your last name is
Zeesness. You say it like
Z
you're sneezing.
Zeesness.
Zeesness. Yeah.
Zeesness. But if you're looking for her books, if you're looking for her as an author, any of the many numerous books that she's written, it's just under Beth Z. Is that correct?
Oh, it's got Zeesness in there, but I had a practice husband who couldn't spell it. He had to carry my card around in his pocket. So you can go with yournerdybestfriend.com and see what all I've
All
written
right.
there. But frankly, technology goes out of fashion really quickly now. So if you're buying some of my books, you may find a lot of things in there that don't exist anymore because I can write a book and press print, and then immediately half of it goes out. So I've started doing littler books
Yeah.
that you can only get online. So feel free to go ahead and buy on Amazon. There's all kinds of good stuff there, but really know that technology is changing so quickly that sometimes the printed word is obsolete as soon as you.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good point. So what's the one thing that you would like for people to know about technology and about how they can use it to benefit their daily lives?
The fear is real sometimes. The reticence about putting our hands in there, going to one of the sites they're talking about is real. And the best advice I can give to people who are watching today is put your hands on it.
Mhm.
Just go to one place and put your hands on it. And you may not even have to go anywhere. It could be embedded in your phone right now. It could be embedded in your Alexa device. I can't say her name loud. She's sitting right there and she gets all of it. It could be just sitting there waiting for you to use it. But go somewhere and give it a try.
That's excellent advice, and particularly, ARP works with older adults primarily and their extended families, of course, but they're a little some are a little skeptical about trying. They're concerned about identity being stolen, about how much information is out there, about putting information online. But my concern, particularly for older adults, is if they don't start using it, if they don't learn about it, they're going to be left behind. That whole digital divide used to be for young people, but now I'm concerned that it might impact older adults.
Well, here's one of the secrets that people don't know is that older adults are very curious about this. They're one of the
Mhm.
most curious populations. Y'all who are watching us right now, you're curious about this. A lot of you have tried it in a lot of different ways. We, as a society, we think, oh, older people can't use a phone and they don't try these new things. That
Mhm.
is not a blanket statement we can make anymore.
Right.
We have younger people, we have Gen Z who are saying, I'm not going to use AI because I'm concerned about it, or I don't have time to figure it out and everybody thinks I understand it. But our older people have a lot of curiosity, have a
Mhm.
lot, they've been around a long time. They've seen a lot of developments that have happened in the past 4 decades, and
Mhm.
they have moved along with it. So I think when we're talking about the people who are watching your program right now, y'all have a lot of curiosity, you have a lot of acumen, you have a lot of know how. And when you take and leverage some of these tools to bring out your know how and your experience, you're going to shine far past a lot of the people who are just not paying attention to it or who are just using it for some basic things. You have an advantage they don't have.
That's absolutely the truth, and we're finding that more and more older adults are actually acclimating their lives toward technology more than they ever have before, whether it's assistive technology for healthcare reasons or whether it's telemedicine or whatever. So just stay connected, and like you said, put your hands on it. I think I read that one of the books that you read talked about is the 27 different applications or something that people need to know. What are some of the applications, technology applications that people should be aware of that they may not be currently be aware of?
So ChatGPT started all this. And if you don't mind, I'll kind of give you a primer on what this is, the
Mhm.
generative
Sure.
AI. And what generative AI is, and ChatGPT was the first one to come out with a tool we could use, is a tool that went in and sucked up all the words that have ever been written, all the songs that have ever been sung, all the images that have ever been created. It sucked it up. And then it looked for patterns,
Mm.
right? It said, okay, when somebody asks me this question, chances are, based on all the words that have ever been written, this is what the answer is that they're looking for.
Mm.
And that solves all kinds of problems and creates all kinds of problems. But
Mhm.
ChatGPT was the beginning tool, the one that started us off and kicked off this revolution. And here's the deal. I'll ramble on for just a couple more seconds. Here's
Please.
yeah, Don't tell my husband. He never says please at that moment. My real husband, not my practice husband. Don't worry. I don't want to get confused. Here is the way it came to be. So ChatGPT used to have a clever name called GPT-3. Again, who makes up this stuff? Nerds don't get out much. We just don't have a lot of creativity. So they named it GPT-3. And I was using it for about a year and a half before it came out on November 30th, 2022. That's when it came out. So I was using it before that in its earlier iteration. And there were not very many people who knew about it. And we all were like, shh, don't tell anybody, because this is the most amazing thing we've ever seen in our lives. And then the company who owns ChatGPT came out and said, you know what? The few people who are using it right now, we created this new interface and we call it, here's the clever word, ChatGPT. Not GPT-3, it's ChatGPT. And you chat with it. And they released it as a research preview. They didn't mean for it to go prime time at that moment, but y'all discovered it and y'all broke it. It was the fastest growing platform that has ever been created. And everybody jumped in there. Tons of people signed up. And then everybody was like, oh, it lies, it cheats, it's broken, you can't get on. That's because they weren't ready for you. It was a research preview. So understanding that, we can understand that everything that's happening is a beta test. All of this is being developed in real time. It's not like they perfected it and then gave it to the world with a subscription model. They said, hey, take a look at this. And then everybody jumped on it. And then when ChatGPT came out with theirs, Google said, hold my beer, I better release mine. And so Google went in there and released it. And they made a big mistake the first day that cost them billions of dollars in their stocks plummeted that day because the big mistake that their system made that day. All of this is a beta test. So what we're finding now as time goes on, we're headed into we're in 2026. So this has been around for quite a while now. And as we head forward, we find that it's becoming more commonplace. That's why I said it may be sitting in your phone ready for you to use it right now. Because it used to be you had to go to ChatGPT and type in something. And now you can ask your devices and they will be using that same type of tool to talk back.
Interesting. Wow. I had no idea it was still in the beta format yes, because it's been, I mean, people are using it like it's the Bible almost, like it's the,
Well, it is an experiment in motion. They don't know what all it can do. They don't know how far it can go. They keep trying stuff like, let me poke it this way. And oh, wow, it does that. They're trying things and developing it different ways. And they're doing it all in real time. We're all the beta testers to, when we play around with this, they're using our information to train more of itself. That's a scary thought. And it's all happening in real time. So there is no end product that is perfect that people are buying. It is all very fluid and it will be for quite some time.
That's very, very informative. Thank you for that. And people need to, again, like you said, you don't have to necessarily go to the app or download the app. It's probably embedded in your phone and you're already, as you push that little button on the side and say, it used to be ask Siri a question and they're going to ChatGPT to get the answer anyway. So it's redundant in many ways. Wow. What's another application that people may not be aware of that they should be?
Well, one of the things, like I said, it's showing up wherever you are. And if you had been on Amazon lately, and I've been on Amazon 4 times today, right?
Yeah, I've been on
I buy
twice.
stuff all the time. If you've been on Amazon lately and you go down the review section, you can see that all of a sudden there's this review summary. I don't know about y'all, but if I'm going to buy a mattress cover, I'm going to check out everybody's reviews on every mattress cover. This makes no sense. A mattress cover, you used to go to a store and get one that was whatever price you wanted to pay. Now you have to research all of it. But now you've got these summaries. And you even have inside Amazon something they're calling Rufus. And Rufus is an AI chatbot. You say, I need a mattress cover that is striped or whatever. And you just tell it what it wants. And it goes out and finds you the best one.
Mm,
right? So, like I said, it's just showing up wherever we are. So, we've got ChatGPT, that is a site you can go to. It is now embedded into the latest versions of Apple phone. And then you've got Gemini, which is Google's product. And
mhm,
you have Meta, which
mhm,
is Facebook's product. And you have Microsoft has Copilot. So, all of these are embedded into these systems that you can just use. All of them have free versions, but you have to watch out for privacy on all the
mhm.
versions.
2 questions. What does privacy actually mean when you say watch out for privacy? And the other question is, like when Rufus pops up, are they going to the Chat GPT source to get the same information that you would put into Chat GPT, or are they accessing information from another source?
So Rufus is
Yeah,
all about Amazon products.
right.
So if you have, let's say you have a granddaughter and you haven't been around her in a while and you don't know what granddaughters want these days besides a gift card, for gosh sakes, you can go in there and say inside Amazon, and a lot of tools have these kind of things, and say, I'm looking for, something for a 12-year-old boy who likes to play with Lego. Last time I bought him some Legos. What is new that we could get this boy? And it'll give you that. So it focuses on those products because it's embedded in there and it wants you to sell you stuff, right?
Okay.
So that is one of the places that now I forgot your other question. What was your other?
Well, so yeah, just whether or not they're all those, whether it's Rufus or whether it's Copilot, if they're accessing the same database.
They're not. They're
Okay.
not accessing the same database. There's a lot of crossover. Like
Okay.
Microsoft Copilot started out being a partner with ChatGPT's company and using that, but they've now developed a little bit more of their own.
Mm,
Google's is a different infrastructure. Meta, Facebook is a different infrastructure, but they're all doing this. And here's where the privacy comes in that you have to be aware of. And I'm hoping that after this television program that people go and check out privacy settings.
mhm,
Inside each one are clever ways for them to figure out how they can pull your data to help train their models, right? So all
mm,
the models have to be trained all the time. And they go in there to help train the models with your information. So that's why you have to do all you can to find those little switches and turn
mhm,
them off to say, no, don't use my data, or go in anonymously. Don't put in your personal information. A lot of people, this is something that we're doing with my dad and some other people. We've got medical questions,
mhm,
and you can upload, as long as you have good privacy on there, you can upload the information to ChatGPT and
mhm,
it will analyze what's going on and
mhm,
help you figure out 47 pages of single spaced medical notes that somebody
right.
gave you, and like give you what really happened, what the real story is.
And so that's not something that you want people should be cautious before they do that, before they put that medical information in there?
Absolutely. Make sure you've got as much of the data locked down as you can. Now, to do this, there are lots of ways. If you Google, just the way you would Google other things, um, control my privacy in ChatGPT, it
Mhm,
will tell you where those settings are, and they
mm,
may change from time to time. They're really trying hard to get you to not click those
mm,
buttons and not take away
mhm,
the privacy because they want all the information they can get. But another thing you can do is make sure all the information is anonymous, right? So if you have some of those records, just make sure your name's not on them. Don't paste the
mhm.
stuff that has your identifying information in there and it's just a medical case that you want them to look at.
Yeah, that's because that's the first thing I know numerous people who do that. They get a report, medical report, and the first thing they do is send it to ChatGPT to help, put it in layperson's terms to understand. What other privacy concerns should people have and or applications should they know about? This is good stuff, Beth.
I wish it's funny because I'm an AI speaker and I tell people AI is not a speech.
Mhm,
It's not a television show. We could
mhm.
talk all week. In fact, I'm not busy for the rest of the day if we just want to continue this program.
I'll call you later, all right?
But I'm hoping that people will continue to turn to AARP of Michigan to get the information, because I think your organization is really trying hard to get that information to you as a member and as a relationship in that community.
Well, I appreciate that. Appreciate you dedicating so much of your life and your time to making certain that people understand, that they know how to adapt, that you demystify the myths that are attached to this technology. It's going to be with us whether we like it or not. So we need to know how to work with it. And we look forward to having you in Michigan. I know you're coming to Michigan later this year. We look forward to having you in person. But thank you so much, Beth, for what you do. I appreciate you. And I'm going to go talk to Rufus because I got to order a few more things. So thank you.
I'm Tracy Anderson with Impart Alliance. Today I'm joined by Bethany Dizer, Assistant Director, and Bethany also oversees our free training program. Bethany, can you share a little bit about the flexibility within the training?
Our training program has something for everyone. Some of our students are brand new to healthcare, brand new to direct care work, brand new to long-term supports and services, and they start out with us to explore what the job is and to consider if it's a career that they want. Some of our students are experienced employed direct care workers who are looking to build their skill set and their knowledge base and really beef up their resume with new skills. We also have a lot of students who come to us as family or kinship caregivers who have enjoyed that experience and want to make direct care work their professional career. And our training covers not just the topics you need, but how to do this work as a career. And there's something for everybody from all of those pathways. I like to say there's no wrong door to direct care work. And so we have training that can suit all of those student needs.
And what sort of topics are covered in the trainings?
We cover all the essential competencies that every direct care worker needs to know. We start with fundamental knowledge for direct care work and working with older adults and people with disabilities, all about safety, preventing infection, communicating with people. And then we build in those direct care worker roles and the people that direct care workers work with. Who are they and what do some of these conditions mean, like dementia? And then we add on all the skills, and direct care workers do a ton of different skills. They do personal care, hygiene care, but they also do home care and assisting with healthcare needs.
All right, well, thank you very much.
Of course.
You probably have heard the word elder law or elder law attorney. Why do you need one? David's here to tell us why. Hi, David.
How are we doing? So, one of my pet peeves is this elder law thing, because it sounds terrible. Oh, I'm elderly, so I need an elder law attorney. Really, the way to think about it is retirement law, because it's mostly for folks who are retired. And there are certain issues that you have now that you didn't have during your working life. The elder law attorney, the retirement law attorney is what I would call it, is all about making sure that what you've earned over the last 40, 50, 60 years doesn't evaporate, that the good work that you've done over the course of your working life bears fruit throughout retirement. Everyone thinks it's about death and taxes and what have you. It's really more about your life now. So we focus on you. Now, it's not like we forget the kids. Obviously, we've got to make sure that we avoid probate, save taxes, get it to the kids. Yes, we're going to do that. But the primary focus of retirement law, elder law if you want to call it that, the primary focus is you. The biggest threat to middle-class folks when they retire is not running out of money. It's not taxes and it's not probate. The biggest threat is long-term care. The government says that 70% of us will need, on average, 3 years of long-term care. How are you going to pay for that? That's what retirement law answers. You've already paid for it is the answer. With every paycheck, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, you've already paid for it. The question is, how do we make sure that you get what you've earned without going broke?
Thank you so much for that, David.
Thank you.
You might have money, but do you have a financial plan, and do you need one? Henry, tell us why we do.
Well, I think it's important for people to understand where they are today and what does the projection look like for their retirement. Most folks believe that, it only matters that my investments are invested. But really, a financial planner helps make sure okay, is that going to last at your current standard of living through the course of your retirement? And then, as we've kind of alluded to, what are the other aspects of your situation that could cause that plan to go awry? Income tax, long-term care, other needs, move from one state to another. A financial planner helps make sure they understand all the different aspects of your situation to make sure you can retire versus, oh, I'm just going to set assets aside or investments aside and get an income produced from them.
In this market, isn't it a little risky investing?
I don't know that it's any more or less risky today than it was yesterday, 5 years ago, or 10 years from now. The point of an advisor is to help you understand where things are at today and how to take the appropriate amount of risk, but also find positions where you don't need that level of risk.
So Henry, you would agree with me, it's probably more risky not to have a financial plan than to have an advisor help you with your financial planning.
Absolutely.
And so people, they want to find a financial advisor. What's the best way? What's the one thing that they should look for to make certain that they have a credible person?
Can you listen to the person that's giving you the advice, trust him or her, and make movement? It's not important that you implement everything that they say, but it is important that you have trust in the person sitting across the table with you.
Relationships. Thank you so much. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
CATA's regional mobility solutions can help seniors seize the day. Hear what riders and community leaders have to say about the value CATA brings to the lives of aging adults.
My name is Richard Foster. I went to junior college, graduated with a degree in writing and photography. When I graduated from Eastern Michigan, I moved up to Lansing. Then my car died and I started using the bus, and I've been using the bus for a little bit more than 20 years. CATA is extremely valuable because it allows me to get around anywhere in the city, and now with some of the extended services, I'm able to go farther out of town. The money I save with the Veterans Pass allows me to go to movies, go out to dinner. I use CATA for everything pretty much. Shopping, going to the doctor, going to the library, anything that I don't feel like walking towards. Between where I live, there's 2 stops, one to the west and one to the east. And it's nice when I get up in the morning and have to go somewhere, I can either catch a bus going out, or if I have to do something downtown, I go across the street and catch the Route 8 when it's going in. Well, I've gotten to know all of the drivers. I know a lot of my first name. It's nice when I can hop on the bus, say hello, they know my face. It's like hi, and I make jokes with them, carrying on conversation. I think CATA is necessary for the community because, there's a lot of people that don't have transportation. Plus, it's good for the environment. I think CATA's doing a good job.
Thanks for watching Real Possibilities. So much information was shared today. Hopefully it was news that you can use and that you'll share with others. Tune in next week for Real Possibilities.